Right, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's make
Good
sure
morning. Morning. Morning.
Hi,
Good morning.
good morning.
Morning.
We have, let's make sure the videos are off and we're muted. Unless you want to tell me a joke. Really bad jokes are welcome too, by the way.
Do you have a joke to tell?
No, I just have my normal go-to stupid jokes.
Okay.
Like, what did the termite say when he came into the bar? Where's the bartender?
Oh.
Oh. Oh, it's bad. Yeah, but it made you chuckle.
Right.
All right. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, let's this video going here.
Victor Higgins, also known as Victor Higgins, was born in Shelbyville, Indiana in 1884. Higgins lived until he was 65 and spent considerable time in Taos as a member of the original Taos Artists Society. At 9 years old, young Higgins met a sign painter named John Cornelius, who gave him a set of paints and encouraged him to learn how to draw and paint. That started the long life of painting for Victor Higgins. At 15, with the support of his parents, he studied at the Chicago Art Institute. There, he originally met Higgins and Hooper, according to one source. He met Carter H. Harrison, the mayor of Chicago, who was a tremendous supporter of painters. Harrison sponsored young Higgins to go to Paris and Munich to further his pursuit of classical painting. In Paris, he met Robert Henry of later Ashcan School in New York.
I always thought it was just Robert Henry.
Harrison also sponsored his first trip to Mexico in 1914.
But notice how some of his work is pretty naturalistic. And then other things get pretty geometric. Like, we just passed this one back here. So he's really pushing the geometry in this. So, and he did do all these watercolors too, which is really interesting. So anyway, but you know, like this one's almost illustrative, right? And fairly naturalistic. And he gets into all these really, gosh, he's such an interesting. Look how he conceives this. This is just really.
Harrison also sponsored his first trip to Mexico in 1914, where he traveled the difficult road from Santa Fe up to Taos and produced some paintings of the American Indian and landscapes, for which Harrison was given in exchange for his sponsorship. Between 1917 and 1923, Higgins taught at the Chicago Academy of Fine Arts, but soon moved to Taos to become part of the passionate group of patrons. In 1919, Higgins painted a mural in the Missouri State Capitol building and apparently another for the Atlanta Georgia State Office building, and was obviously an accomplished muralist. Higgins struggled financially most of his life, except for a short stint being married to Marion Cooper McNay, a wealthy heiress from Texas from 1937 to 1940. After looking looking at some 400 plus paintings by the Taos Artist Society, I became curious if they used photographs to aid in their composition and painting details of the subjects. I was quite excited to discover that indeed this was true. There exists photos that Higgins shot of the exact scenes he painted to give them a clear reference of what he was seeking. As I have pointed out in previous videos, this technique is definitely a valid means to keep the model and painting subject still. This snapshot method does provide an accurate rendering of the subject. However, in my opinion, the painter is less sensitive to his or her own emotional attachment to the subject, which is acceptable, but not as self-expressive or as introspective. Being able to draw from the model and scenery seems to be a more genuine way to fully express what a painter is feeling and focusing on in a painting. Is it valid or is it a cheat? Leonardo or Tiziano Bocelli, also known as Titian, would surely say that is not a genuine method. But then again, they had not a clue about what photography was in their timeline. A well-respected art and antiques dealer in Taos today is Robert Parsons Liner. I asked him how Higgins died, and he told me the story that Higgins was having a steak dinner at a friend's home one night in 1949 and had a sudden heart attack and died suddenly at the age of 65. Look for more of these Taos Artist Society individual videos about this fascinating group of painters. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons.
Did they, and was he referring to them as a passionate group of painters, or did they really refer to themselves as the passionate group of painters? I wonder if they did. He said that earlier. I'm like, is that really what they call themselves?
You never heard that before, huh?
No, the passionate group of painters. I think that would be great.
It almost sounds like the Passionate Fathers up at the monastery in Sierra Madre.
Yeah. But this, we're going to watch this for 28 minutes, but I just sort of wanted to touch on this one since it was a pretty short video. Now, what was this all about there? Is this just pictures? Oh no, this is an older.
Exhibition is devoted to a painter of the town school, which, as we know, was founded in New Mexico.
It's been a while ago.
2014. Victor Higgins was a native of Indiana. We're looking here at a picture that he painted in the city of Chicago shortly after his studies at the Art Institute of Chicago.
It's really hard to believe that he painted paintings like this and was not wealthy.
The Nike of Samothrace, a famous classical sculpture, which is installed in the Art Institute. Higgins was born and grew up on a farm, but he very early had a love of art, which his parents encouraged. And at the age of 15, he went to Chicago and began to study seriously. This is one of his first paintings done after he reached maturity as an artist. We have a few other works of his student years, Barbara, if we want to take a look at those together. In 1911, Higgins went to New York, which then as now was America's art capital, and he only spent a little while there. And the artists whom he met encouraged him to go to Europe for further study. And this painting, which is called Moreland Piper, is an example of the kind of work that he did while in Europe between 1911 and 1913. It's a kind of fantasy of the Cornish countryside, a place that's strongly associated with fairies and druids and other kinds of fantasy figures. It's a very imaginative picture. He also spent time in Munich, which attracted many American artists, particularly those who would later become leaders of the Taos School. These are some small drawings of other European cities. The picture I want to particularly draw your attention to is this one, which is called Canal in Bruges. Bruges, of course, is the Venice of Northern Europe. It's in Belgium. And it shows Higgins' Munich style fully developed. The Munich Academy taught a style which has been called dark impressionism, in which the artist was encouraged to use a loaded brush, a brush that has lots of paint on it, and paint freely, but also, unlike the French impressionists, to use dark, somber colors. And of course, that's what's happening here. It's a very muted kind of color scheme. It's like a lot of quick work. Yeah, there isn't really Whistlerian quality to it. It has that kind of abstract composition, that strange point of view, where the architecture is almost out of the frame, and the focus is on water and the abstract design.
It's wonderful. So I thought I would just kind of go in. He's really famous for these.
Trading, nor are they romanticized. They're really abstract compositions in many ways. One of the things that Higgins did, as all the Taos painters did, was to make a collection of various Indian artifacts and works of art. So here we see a little bowl, and there's some fabric and these gourds and things, all of which he used to make a composition which is as much a still life as it is a portrait. We just really see the effects of modern art. Yes, in the work. Indeed. Higgins is the most modernist of all the Taos painters, and as we continue through the exhibition, we'll see that more and more. But this interest in...
Well, I would argue he's not as modern as Georgia O'Keeffe, but anyway, let's see now. Let me move on here. You see, anyway, he does lots of the, not only the Native Americans, but he paints the landscape with this geometric pattern reminiscent of the pattern styles that they would use on, various fabrics and which just portrays their own culture.
Rob, what does modernist mean about the style?
Oh, well, he's taking it he's pushing more abstraction and not, and moving away from realism.
Okay.
Yeah. In a general sense, modernists will push an individual style more than, as you can see in his early paintings, what he's doing in Europe, they're really pushing a salon style. It's an academic style. A lot of the academics will paint, fairies and druids in the landscape in these very, very, they're beautiful, no question, but they get a little dogmatic, I guess, after a while. So anyway, in America especially, we were moving away from that. And he shows you how in the Southwest they move away from it. So I just wanted to, here we go. Just look at this geometry it pushes in everything.
However, this curvilinear style was not to last, as we proceed down this wall. As you can see, becoming much more angular in this landscape style. I have to ask you,
by the way, you might also be thinking of Maynard Dixon. Also was doing a similar thing, coming out of realism and moving into geometric abstraction as well.
Who is America's greatest watercolorist of the 20th century, visited Taos in 1929. In fact, he came with Georgia O'Keeffe. Taos attracted not only permanent residents such as Higgins, but also a whole group of transients, and Marin was one of them. And there's no question that he had a great influence on Victor Higgins. If we look at...
that makes a lot of sense. If you really see the John Marin and Higgins, especially in the watercolors.
Sure. Say like this one here, the Mountain Farm. We can see how Higgins adopts certain devices that are very familiar to those of us who know Marin's style, like the jagged forms used everywhere, the kind of cubist faceting he picked up from Marin. There's no question that there was influence, and that influence in his watercolor style passed over into his oil painting style. So that radical change, which he made in watercolor, then it was absorbed into his oil.
Interesting how he started off in watercolor and then it was absorbed in the oil. Wow. That would be the other way around.
We're looking at paint forms, sharp kind of diagonals and hard lines versus those curves that we saw earlier. And this is what Higgins identified as modern art, angular, cubistic kinds of forms. Here we get another favorite device of Marin's, which is the internal framing. Notice how he uses, this is maybe a little rainstorm over here, and the clouds are used to create a frame within a frame for the image, which is something that Higgins also adopted from Marin. Well, Barbie, as you can see, we've started our docent training for the show, which we think will be pretty popular here in Tulsa. So
it could be still lifes, by the way. There.
Again, the still life, like the landscape and the figure as well,
Just
is really
amazing.
a pretext for an abstract composition. He's very interested in contrasting forms and colors, different shapes, different kinds of lines. Higgins had a big collection of pots and of fabrics too, so that he would make these wonderful compositions and then paint them. So still life was a way of experimentation for Higgins.
Yeah, his still life, you got to look at them. They're just beautiful. He's pull his name up there. So clearly framing, yeah, well, this is the one we saw earlier. All right. Very nice. I like the 80s music too. Or the 70s. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, what museum was that at, you know?
You should probably look at the beginning and find it. You want me to give you guys the, here, I can give you the copy.
It
I'll
said
put it in the chat.
it said the Tulsa Museum.
Oh yeah, the Tulsa Museum.
That's what I thought I heard, yeah. Thank you.
Sure thing. And what else? But I'll put the, so they're in the chat. The links. Now, so let's take this piece. Let's see. And let me zoom in. And let's do a,
Out of interest, how did you pick this piece?
a little value study here.
Rob?
Oh, it's a little more square than that, isn't it?
Rob, can you hear us?
Rob?
Okay,
I don't think you can.
let's just start off with that tree. We'll just do this value study here. We've got these other trees.
Rob?
Now about this cloud right here, clearly trying to bring you back over, right? Almost like a rainbow. I guess this is melted snow or something on the ground. I think. More fence posts over here. Okay, this is a telephone pole. Sort of framing it here again. Remember, it's interesting how he plays up on these little things. Why does he do that? I think he's just trying to find himself, like we all are. I mean, trying to push himself and try new things and evolve. We got the white horse and the dark horse there. Okay, so right. Give it a couple of little. This tree is just really interesting. I mean, it's like he treats it like a mosaic. The way he sort of finds he shoots the background through the tree. Which is going to be a lot of fun. Okay. Let's see now. I'm going to take the Prussian blue and Cad red and make myself a kind of a black. Okay. Whoops, I got dark on me. Good light for the sky. And then he shoots some little things through it. And we have this snow covered up here. And it almost, you know, I hate to say it, but right in the back of the tree, it almost looks like the tree's casting a shadow on the mountain, which is impossible, but that's a really big tree. But he's got this dark behind here. He's doing a lot of things in this piece, and I'll try to point them out as we go. That would be probably considered not good in academic circles, but in modern circles, good, because it's pushing individual style. It's all about style. It's all about modernism. It's just all about, and they'll sacrifice perspective and light and shadow and all kinds of things for that individual style.
Rob?
Another liner. And I got this, the red here, which is not that much of a different value, at least on the top of it from the back. He kind of separates it with this white line in between the red trees and the mountain. He just leaves the paper. Yeah, if you can get a close look at this piece, well, you can look at it in this piece actually. He leaves a lot of the white of the paper, which means he's really just doing things in one stroke and then leaving it, not overworking anything. Notice how it gets a little bit dark behind here. Bring some of that dark right into the tree. We have a pretty light building. A couple of light details in here. This building's just a touch darker. There can be some shadows in there later. And a little bit darker there. And then again, we have this gradation from light to dark here. It gets dark right here, and it just kind of fades into this light. Doing all kinds of gradations. Some dark in there. Puts it in and just kind of fades it all. So a lot of artists caught on to this sort of geometric style, really pushing that in the Southwest. It was really popular, and still is. You can find it all over. And I think it's really reminiscent of the native culture as well. I mean, you can feel that sort of geometry in all of any kind of design work they do, any kind of craft or fabric or weaving or just beautiful. And they work it right into the art. I think that's just fantastic. Okay, so we have some ruts in the road here. Dark stuff here, it gets pretty dark. Those shadows. So he's not totally breaking from realism. Of course, the dark horse here. Right up there. Now, these. Any kind of detail you want to put in there. Well, so, I should have been in on this more, sorry. Feel free to ask me to crop in on these things. I was looking at my viewer here and not my,
Can you hear us, Rob?
Not what you guys are seeing, sorry about that.
Rob, can you hear us?
But that would be an example of
I'm gonna text him and see if
what I
I
might
can
do for value rough.
I just
More back here.
I just called him and
More values.
yeah, I don't know how we're gonna get through. Maybe in the chat or could someone do that?
I chatted already.
Yeah.
Well, no, we couldn't be heard.
Yeah, thanks, Helen. And I called him on his cell and left the voicemail. There's docs in there.
Good try, email.
Smack the darks at the
Yeah.
end.
I'm going to see if I have a landline.
Kind of dark. But she brings up. Now the course isn't in dead center. The dead center would be here, but I think a lot of academics would say, you don't put it there.
Yeah, I'm going to call the landline.
And a modern painter would say, yeah, you don't put it there, you put it right there. In other words, anything you can do to make it interesting to yourself, what you think, you know? Uh-oh. Hold on. Oh, okay. Let me go. Okay. Am I muted?
Let's see.
Can you hear us?
Rob?
How's that? Can you hear me now? Oh, just wanted to let you know we could. Yeah. Go ahead with the comment. I'm sorry. I didn't hit my mute button. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was thinking this is a snow scene.
Yeah, it looks like snow, and you know that's the way it is in New Mexico. You know, they'll have a snow and then it melts. But there's always this melted. I mean, not always, but I mean, there's lots of melted snow everywhere.
You don't think it's actively snowing now because of the white spots on the horse?
I don't think so. Now, if you look at his other things too, he'll leave a lot of white paper, but I think that this is definitely melted, especially in the foreground. You can see a lot of melted snow on the ground. Yeah.
If I were going to do this, just because I'm not him, I would have sprayed masking fluid all over the place before I started the picture, because I don't see how he can leave all these little tiny bits of white. Did he just do that somehow with dry brushing?
Yeah. Absolutely, you got it.
Do
We're
you
gonna do
have
it.
maybe
We're gonna do it today.
really rough paper?
He's probably using rough paper, yes.
Okay.
But our medium paper that we use will be fine. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he's using a very rough paper though. Okay, let's move on to the color now. Thank you, Gabe, for calling me. What would I do without you? That about right? Guess this is all right. And let's just go ahead and, you can find, I'd say the base of the little Adobe is almost halfway. It's right around halfway, so I would say, somewhere in there. That's a good way to kind of. And here we've got this tree. And with that phone call, I need to be much higher here, don't I? Something's wrong. Well, whatever. I'll be careful when I do the original. I almost thought, well, that's just one of those sales calls. So I almost said,
What phone did you answer? Because I tried you both on what I had for a landline and a cell phone for you.
I don't have a landline anymore.
Okay.
I just have a cell phone.
Okay, because I called you on the cell phone before also.
Oh, really?
There's a voicemail there, I guess.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, no, I don't have anything from you, George.
Maybe I have your own number.
It's 626-644-9582. I don't think you have a wrong number. Are you doing the 399 one?
Yeah, I did a 3991, but you don't have that anymore, huh?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I called the.
That's weird. You know, Carol called me the other day and said she did the same thing, and I didn't have any message.
Okay, so I'll delete the 399.
Yeah.
Thanks. I had asked very early on, out of interest, what made you pick this painting out of all his paintings?
Well, honestly, I mean, it's got a lot of that geometric stuff he was doing, but also it was a good picture. A lot of the pictures online were horrible. I mean, they weren't big enough to work from. They're so small. So this just turned out to be between. I have another one. I can show you this one too. I really was between two, and the file I just wasn't sure that you guys would be able to open it, but. You won't even put it up on here. Anyway, it doesn't recognize the file. So it was just some weird kind of file, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah. To me, that looks like water in the front. You call it snow, huh?
Well, it looks like melted snow with like a puddle of water in it or something. I mean, I know that's all over that area.
Oh, okay.
You would see, that's really common to see that over there because.
And it's that color.
I mean, I don't know.
It's well, it's reflecting the sky, I guess. It looks like the sky color.
Yeah, he's known for just pushing everything, and it is odd that I thought he was a pretty wealthy guy. I didn't know. I just assumed he was kind of a big star or something.
And the tree is his own take on the shape of the tree, or are they really shaped like that, or?
Well, he definitely will exaggerate on the shape of the tree, but you know those. I mean, if you look at his early paintings, he'll paint them exactly like they are. So he's definitely taking it into his own.
I mean, it's almost like it's been trimmed like a bush.
Yeah. He's trimmed it geometricized or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, it's very, very Southwest to do that. To push that whole idea. And so you'll see even abstractionists, they'll go to the Southwest and they'll do this sort of very geometric type abstraction. It's quite beautiful. I mean, it's really wonderful thing. Okay, so with the sky, I'm thinking clear violet blue. Let me try, how about the ultramarine plus the Prussian blue? Add them together until they get here. I like that. It's very light though. You could just be Prussian. It's a very green blue. You never know if it's a reproduction or not. I could try that for that might have been better. Yeah, that was better. So you could just write Prussian. Make little notes like that to yourself. This is what I do. Now I'm going to make the green of the mountain. I'm going to make, I'm going to use Prussian blue and lemon yellow. And let's see over here. And over here it gets a little grayer. I'll pull a few of these little in there. And then it gets a little bit grayer. So if you take a little red and add it to that color, to the Prussian blue and lemon yellow, you should get a little bit grayer than that. A little dark too. You know, Maynard Dixon was such a star, and to think that Victor Higgins wasn't amazing, because you got to look at Victor Higgins' work. He's, I don't know, he's one of my favorites. In that time period. Okay, so we have some, I guess, Cad Red bushes here. Let's see. Let's try Cad Red. Pretty light. And in the shadows, it gets a little bit brown, doesn't it? Yeah, Cad Red. There's some green cactus. Some deeper Cad Red. You know, my grandma, you know, lived near Palm Springs, and she had this friend named Jan Terry who lived up in Running Springs, who was an artist, and I would go out to her house and help her clean up, and then come in for an art lesson a little bit later. My grandma would take me up there, and I remember she said, Robbie, that's what she called me. Robbie, don't go into art, okay? Don't go into art. That's what she said. I remember saying. And then I remember saying, well, I really like it. And she kind of rolled her eyes and said he's going to do it anyway. she was a card. Okay. Let's go kind of an orange in the building. I'm just going to keep this really basic here. Oh, I should have drawn myself some doors, windows, and doors, door, window. Yeah. It's a pretty saturated orange. That was pretty great what I put on there. Let's see what this is. Is this too much? All right. I just remember saying that. The reason I say that is just her art looks a lot like Higgins. Maybe that's why I'm attracted to it. I'm like, I kind of understand it, I guess. Growing up with a grandma who married an artist, but I mean, she was quite the pianist, but not a professional. All right, get it on the ground. With the tree, we're gonna have to leave a lot of. I think we should just paint the tree first. And then we can paint around it and paint through it, because it's gonna be hard to get all these little values in there. But so what I'll do here is I'll just put some sort of light beigey colors in there. You know, just for a color rough. We've got some oranges in here. All right. And turns into some reddish things here. Orange with the cad red, cad yellow. Red here, cad red. Kind of a brown for the horse. The cad red, cad yellow, and ultramarine blue will give you a pretty good brown. And a white horse liner. To have some of that brown here. And then I'm just going to take straight Prussian blue into the water right in here. Alright. Just as a color rough, you know, just trying to give myself kind of a plan. One plan is that I think it's a good idea to start off with the tree and then work around it. In this case, because it's so finicky. And I don't want to spend all day. We get some yellowy oranges through here, so I'm going to get a little bit more yellowy orange. That color didn't quite work. There you go. All right. Oh, it's pretty hot orange there. Okay. So there's a couple of planes of action. There you go, if you'd like to take a photo. So if you're looking to walk, what I mean is sort of how about step your style into something more modern. You don't want to break away from what do you call it? Total realism.
I'm sorry, Rob. Could you just 1 minute, 1 second, put it back?
Sure, there you go.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay. Yeah. Square off my picture here. So I'm just going to guess I'm around. I mean, it's a square, but it's definitely a good squarish. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Is that squarish? I guess it is. Okay, there's the center. Just to kind of help you to place things. So definitely the tree is off to the left. And we'll say that the base of the houses, if anything, maybe a little above center, around there. Somewhere in there. And I'm just gonna block them in first. I think that helps me to place the tree. Should be around there. It doesn't quite come halfway this way. And the bottom of it's around there. I just really oversimplify things. And I can zoom in on that later. I keep the drawing pretty simple. Okay. But yeah, one kind of going over that way, one coming up, splits into kind of a Y shape. And then another one. And then with this outline, you know, we're just doing just a lot of this. So, with the paint mostly. So I'll keep the outline there, but not really dark so it shows up. Another sort of Y shape here. Right, and really they're just kind of going in this direction. might lighten that up, but just telling myself, you know, wow, because all of the little marks are kind of going in that direction. You know, I'm looking at it again. Wow, you think you used some wax on it? Kind of where the mountains coming through, I can see some, almost like you took pastel over it or something. Wow, or dry brushed or whatever. Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna take the mountains. Well, let's just take the hills. I'm sorry. One more time. the red bushes. Right to about here. And there. And then the mountains about here. Anyway, a big post on there. And we have the direction of that cloud. Just kind of keep them light. Just so I know they're there. Oh, I'm sorry. I just would lightly put in some directional marks because that's the way I'll go with my brush, and I'll just leave it white. For the cloud. And we have a little door here. And we've got those neat shadows, which I don't think I'll draw in. I think I'll just.
How come? Oh, I guess there's a shadow under the horse, isn't there?
Yeah.
Okay, and I see a shadow by some of the posts around the corral.
Yeah, lots of shadows.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't put them in the color one, did I? I think I did in the one.
So I guess it isn't a snowy day because the sun's out.
Yeah, I know a lady that lived there, and she said, I asked her if it was snowy there, and she goes, no, it snows, and then it burns off. I mean, then it melts off in the day. So she goes, we have lots of melted snow every day. It's not really a snowy place, but we do get snow. And that was in Santa Fe, so Taos is probably snowier. I don't know if this is actually Taos. I would assume it is, but.
So what do you think his purpose was for all the white dots?
You mean just leaving all the white paper?
Yeah.
Well, if you look at John Marin's work, I'm sure he got that from John Marin. John Marin's really famous for that too. Just leaving a lot of the white of the paper, showing the beauty of the white paper itself. That becomes a watercolor aesthetic, right? So look at Maurice Prendergast, who's in the 1800s, makes that quite a big deal himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a watercolor aesthetic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of dry brushing.
Yeah, yeah.
And you said maybe that he did put wax down.
I can't tell. I'm just seeing it in the tree. It looks like he's doing some dry brushing in the tree, which is.
Did they use
I saw that when
in,
what?
they used wax back then?
Yeah, Sargent used wax many generations before him. I mean, yeah, it's all kinds. They've been using wax forever. I'm sure Henry would tell us, oh yeah, they were using that like 4,000 years ago. Yeah, whatever we do, it always seems like the Chinese are doing it like thousands of years before. Even abstraction, they saw it as so new, and you see all these Chinese painters doing it. Oh. Yeah, you get some winds posts that are sort of more coming at us. And then it kind of comes up. We have this one leaning up against it. And we have a horse. Oops. Now, with the horse, what you can do is just box it in first. Just give yourself a little size measurement. I'll zoom in on that plan. If you box it in and then maybe give it a neck, a head, rather than just going for it, it can help you get some fair proportions on it. Yeah. And the white horse behind it. And you're right, there's shadow on the ground. And you can just throw shadows on the ground here if you like. Just to let yourself know. Oh yeah. So he doesn't abandon. I mean, he still has perspective. He doesn't completely abandon. He never really does. He gets pretty abstract though in these watercolors sometimes. And I think that's interesting. I did not know that he started abstracting the watercolors first. I'm almost sure though that that's his meetings with John Marin. That makes so much sense. Probably helped him to evolve his style. I wonder if they did Maynard Dixon as well. You know, a lot of people think of Maynard Dixon when they think of all this geometric styling, but there were a lot of artists doing it. Maynard Dixon's probably the most famous at really pushing them. We could call it geometric realism, really. just put little lines like that, tell me. There's a little lead-in shadow right there. At the base of the post here, we have a little deep mark, which is silhouetting the white snow here. That's pretty good. I feel pretty good about it. This could be a little larger. Okay. Little patch back here on the hill. I'll use little marks like that telling me, you know, we're going around the form, in the shadow. Things like that. Alrighty. Alrighty. Let's have some fun. So I was thinking about doing the trees first. Let's get right into it. Do. And not putting too much detail into it. It probably seems like there's a lot. I'm going to mix red and yellow, get kind of an orangey color, and then I'm going to use a little bit of blue in that, so that'll make it kind of beigeish. Beigey. The blue will be very light. Like that first, and just lots of weight. Just dry brush. And the branches themselves. It gives them sort of this blue-green shadow on these branches.
What kind of combination is that again? Cad yellow.
Cad red, cad yellow for like an orange.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of blue will gray it a little bit to make it fun. Oh. Leave it kind of like that, and then I'm going to come in with a little shading on it too. I'm using kind of a blue-green, so I would use the Prussian blue with a little bit of that, a little bit of red in it. That'll gray it. So I'm going to take a wet brush and just blend that a little bit. Okay.
get some reds into the shadows too. They're not all sort of green, they're also sort of red. He's doing kind of an interesting thing. So I'm getting some more kind of reddish orange. It's kind of like a burnt sienna almost. So take an orange again, and then add blue to it. But you know, it's still, you know, burnt sienna is still a beige, but it's just got a lot more red and yellow in it. That's all. It's a neutral. It's a red-brown, that's what it is. I'm just throwing in some little shadows here and there. A lot of branches coming up here. I missed a few. You know? Boy, does he would leave a lot of little white areas. That's good enough for now. Now I'm going to come back with some sky. You know, I use Prussian blue, yeah. I use Prussian blue in the comp down here. I like that. I think I'm going to use, yeah, I know you're going to put a little note, like maybe the Prussian blue would be better in the sky. So I think I'll go with the Prussian blue in the sky. That's what we've got, 2 blues. Should we have enough? Actually, it won't take very much to do the sky. And he's just doing this, see? Try brushing it in there. You see, by just touching the tops of the paper, it's giving me all that little white showing through. And I think I want to leave a lot. Even if it's too much, I'd rather get the idea and have too much than not get the idea and not have enough of the white of the paper showing through. Feel a little bit here. And then this looks like he splits the hairs like that and just kind of into it. All right, and then take some more. Because we have more over here. Just gonna leave a lot of the white. And again, with the outside edges, just sort of pull it into the tree where the blue, where the sky meets the tree. And let me zoom in on it. I'll come in with this and throw in some of these little branches. Branchy little shapes. I mean, it's probably a little too hard to copy exactly what he's done, so it's really not the point here. Just to get this kind of idea, you know, maybe sometime when you're out painting trees, you can handle it this way. You can see, wow, he's just dry brushing it. I could get drier.
So this is winter time and it's just a tree with no leaves on it, limbs and twigs and, is that what you think?
I think so, yeah.
It's just so uniform on the sides.
I remember he was trying to do that framing thing, like an inner frame. I think a lot of artists were working toward not having a frame and just doing their own sort of, creating their own little window within the painting. That's not new either. Right. Yeah, he did come back with something. He dry brushed a little red. And on the outside here, it's a little bit of this is a cat red. I think I have to use it. Wow, drier. Drier than that? Oh, this isn't go nuts on me. It does look kind of crumbly. I'm just really dry brushing that. Anyway, look at this. Let's do the mountain. Let's do the mountain. The man from the mountain. Alright, so I used Prussian blue, that red, that'll gray your Prussian blue, a little bit of lemon yellow, I'll get you on the green, but it's pretty gray back there, so to gray the green you want a little bit of cad red. That's your complementary color. And when he puts his paint down, he really puts it down fresh like that. He doesn't overwork anything. We have this sort of rock face in there too. I'll come back with some kind of pink in there. But leaving a lot of this white. And he kind of leaves this white outline around the red here. It's pretty distinct, so I'm going to make sure I leave that. Break some of that into. Remember, you got a red back here on the bottom too, right? Too bad on the tree. I thought it was going to be a little more finicky than that. And then this area over here, a little more gray, so I'm going to add a little touch of red to my Prussian blue. So you got a little bit grayer. And I'll just add a little water. Keeps the white right around the red here. It's mostly Prussian blue with a little cat, a lemon yellow, and then a touch of cat red. Have this sort of shadow in there. Okay. Kind of a little shadow in there. And then another one along there. We can just kind of work that in. And I can just take a little wet brush along the edge just to smooth it off. And I'm just leaving a lot of white paper. I'm not going to try to get my white of the paper exactly like his white of the paper. Otherwise, you know, it'll be the end of the day and I'm still on the mountain here. Not really the point. Little shrubs. He loves painting these. I've seen so many paintings of him where he has these little shrubs right here. A little bit different color, a little browner. So when I use the same colors, but add a little bit more red to the color. maybe more red, or more orange. Let's try that. That's pretty dark. And he sort of has a love affair with these little. They're really interesting, though. I love he'll use them to move you around forms. These shrubs on the hill. I don't know why he's so into it. It really works. He has this little shadow on this, like here. It almost looks like the trees casting a shadow. I think it's the cloud casting a shadow onto the snow on the mountain. I think I'll go down to the red here. We've got this sort of clay color. Again, I'm going to make it kind of a pinky orange out of cad red, cad yellow. This would give me a color like this. I'm looking for this color right here. Again, it's kind of a beige, so I'm using cad red, cad yellow, and a little of ultramarine blue, very little. You can do that. We don't want it as orange as any of this. And we have the red here. The cad red. And I'm going to do it much like I did the trees there. It just kind of pulls them in like this, in a dry brush fashion. You can see them in between the trees here. And those little negative parts. Like that. I'll just kind of slide on the top here. And just kind of flick it up. Oops, it's got some cacti up here right there. I forgot. I didn't even draw them in. I assume they're cactus. I could have left more white. Oh, wow. These little browns in there too. Gets pretty dark right up next to the building. Okay, a little bit of there. Some Prussian blue with a little Prussian blue, maybe a little lemon in that. A little bit of lemon in that. Get a little bit greener. And a lot of beige in this painting. It's just orange and blue, that's all it is. So make an orange, cad red, cad yellow. And we'll just add something kind of bluish to it. It should be fine. This is just really light over here, so. Yeah, almost the same color as the tree. And I'll get something oranger over here. So I'll just go stronger with that color. This. Now, have you all thought of any other local? We don't always have to do local paintings, just so you know, local heroes. But I'm looking for really well-known painters. Okay, not really obscure people. Sometimes, yeah. So anyway, I don't know. A lot of people don't know about Victor Higgins, but he is a huge painter. Amongst painters, I tell you, everybody that really, I don't know, everybody I know that knows about painting knows a lot about it. And I talk to people that know a lot more than I do about it. One guy I know paints just like him. I mean, I don't want to do that, but you know what? He actually does pretty well. Maybe I should start doing that. grasses here. Too dark. Should have left a little white back there. It'll be okay. Alright, so we have a red door here. Not vibrant red, is it? There we go. And a green door. What's your Sherrill liner? I'm just going to go, it looks kind of greenish brown in here. I'm just going to kind of wing it on these windows. Something dark in there. I'm just going to use Prussian blue and red. That kind of greenish though. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Wow, that's small. And 1, 2, 3, 4. It's good enough for me. Maybe a little on the dark side. Looks like all the poles have sort of shadow on them, so it's off to the right side. I'm just going to put some, you know what, actually, should probably do that faded background color on the road first. Because I'm just going to go right over them. And then just add a little water. Quite orange, isn't it? And I'm just going to add a little water to the edge. I'm going to come back later and get that edge a little harder. With some shadow. And he uses that same color on. I mean, wow. You're getting a lot of pencil mark on here. There's a lot of that red. Reddy orange. Reds and orange in the ground. Let's see what happens if I put that there. Is that just too much? Yep. bit of blue to it, that'll neutralize it, make it browner. There we go. There's a lot of white. I'm just kind of going like, and dry brushing it up in there. Maybe it's maybe a little bit more yellow in the color. From here. Right there. And all this in here. It's a little strong. I'm gonna put that blue in the water or the ice or whatever it is. Just using the straight Prussian blue. Dark little marks in here too. Not really sure what he's doing with those, but using them to define things. Another sort of tone back there. Red back here. And just use some water and fade the edges. Same here. A little redder than that.
Rob,
Yeah,
I love the way he put that post right over.
I know, huh?
Right. I mean, he could have put it over the middle of the body here.
Well, that would be one of those little academic things I said earlier. He knows all about them. I mean, you can see he's really, really well trained. So to put the post right over the horse, you know, in any school or any teacher in any school would say, "What are you doing that for?" you know.
Yeah.
But in modernism, I think he's like, that's the way it ended up.
Yeah. I put my post over the belly.
Yeah. Beautiful shadows back here. And a blue violet. Oh, whoops. On the building here. I guess it's not that dark. So, well, you can see them on the ground here a little bit too. And you go up the building. Up. And so. I don't see anything to the trees here. I think you would see a few notches. Okay. Maybe some little blue-gray shadows on the posts. Mm-hmm. Back here, I don't see much shadow on the ground from the posts. You see them over here. Mm-hmm. Post here, and then a little shadow on the ground. Maybe we didn't put much shadow on that post, did we? There's a little bit of shadow under the horse, too. Of course. I mean, makes a difference. And these ones too. A little bit browner. I'm surprised you didn't throw shadows on the ground from these. These would have shadows too. Victor, what were you thinking? I will not question the master.
He was really a child prodigy artist, wasn't he? He started at 15 to go to an art school.
I mean, that's why I thought he would, I thought it was pretty famous in his own life. Apparently, not the big money maker according to Ray, so. But it does certainly become extremely influential later. as an American painter. As a Southwest American painter, you have to know who he is. I mean, it's a must. There's a handful of them that sort of invented the whole Southwest style. Whole, whatever that is. I don't know, go down to the Southwest and check out the museums and the art and everything. You get a feel for it. Oh, it's fun. Yeah, he comes into his own with these. I think he really finds this sort of geometric style in this. But really, you got to check out his still lifes too. They're phenomenal. They're kind of weird, but they're kind of just beautiful. You know, anytime someone gets kind of original, you know, it just feels kind of weird because you haven't seen it yet. We're used to seeing what we know, you know. But he does this geometric, strangely designed. And the thing is that if you look at, the more you get into how to design a piece, then you really look at it and you're like, wow. Especially when you're first starting, this is what I did. When I was first starting to really get into how to design a piece of work, I would look at his early work. I was really attracted to his early work. And then later on, I really wasn't. I wasn't attracted to his later work at all. And that's mostly because I wasn't there yet. Not because he did worse work or anything. I think at the time I was thinking, gosh.
Is this his later work? This piece?
Yeah. This is his later stuff.
When I first looked at it, I thought it was weird. But now as I'm working on it, I'm appreciating it more.
Well, the thing is you have to ask yourself, why would an academic painter who is so accomplished, I mean, you know, like I say, the more you understand about design and what he's doing in his early designs, the more you understand how advanced he is. He is extremely advanced. His designs are phenomenal. And then he does this almost awkward, childish, and he just kind of, and it's really interesting. What is he doing? What is he doing? And he would tell you, no, not at all. This is an evolution, you know. And I see this over and over in art, over. I see in my own work too. I'm getting more simple. Anyway, shall we? I know it's never enough time. Shall we start taking photos? I'll give you a little time here. I know how you want to put all those little touches on it. I know. 11:35. So how about 11:40? 11:45? 10 minutes? Is that a lot? Do you guys need 10 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, 10 minutes. 11:45. right, we still don't have any loaded up yet, so. All right. I'll be back in a little bit. All right, we have 2 so far. All right, everybody. Almost 11:50.
Yeah, we can pretend we don't hear you.
I know. I'm all alone. Okay. I will only have 2 people, but I'll start. By the way, here, I get a lot of these. People don't download the Zoom recordings in time, and then I have to take them. I have to take them down every day to make room for the next class, just so you know. So you need to download them on the day of, or sometimes. Usually I don't delete them until the next morning. So if you're like up really early, you'll probably have to delete them. Okay? But it gets hard for me to keep putting them back up there and taking them down. I get all like jumbled up in my head. I can't remember which day is which and which. It's not easy actually to put them back up there. So just so you know, please try to do it. I mean, I can do it though, but I have to. It's funny. I have to dig in the. They have this thing called the trash. I have to dig in the trash and find it, make sure I get the right date. So that means I have to watch it to make sure it's the right video, and then I gotta recover it, and then take it out of recovery and put it in there and put it up. It's it's. 5 minutes, like 5 minutes every time I do it, huh?
I do appreciate when you do that, because sometimes I'm out of town and I can't download it until I return. So I'm very thankful that you are willing to take the time to do that.
Thank you, Suzanne. No problem. It's not one person, okay? I get multiple people in every class. I just do that. Just try to think about that, please. Okay. Now, hey Lily.
Hi.
Cool. You got it. You got the feel. I'd say, yeah, especially look at that tree. Nice tree. All right, no, so good. Anything that gave you a problem?
Trying to imitate that stippled effect was.
Oh.
I gave up trying after a while.
It could be your paper.
Okay.
And then you just. You want to use a very light touch over the top of the paper. The very tops of the paper, you just kind of want to skim it. It's called dry brushing, but yeah, you just want to skim the top of the paper. And what you might want to do is get some scrap paper and then just lightly pull some colors over it. Some of it sticks and some of it misses. Yeah. You're kind of getting it right in here. Yeah. It's that. You got to work a little bit drier to do it. If you work wet, it won't happen. So, and it kind of makes sense, because if he's in the snow painting, he doesn't want to use a lot of water. He's probably going really fast. I can see. Got the shadows on the house, nice. And I'd say everything looks great. If there are any deeper tones, because you have a lot of really light ones,
Right.
and then you have a lot of really dark ones, like this one here and here. So some medium tones. Think of some yellow things in here. And it just looks, not quite finished yet, but it looks good. I mean, everything is placed very nicely. Just a few more middle tones. I think you're
Okay.
in the right spot.
I'll put in some more here.
Yeah, if you want. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lily. Oh yeah. All right. All right. You got the style. You got the dry brushing in the sky too. There you go. Yeah, it almost looks like wax resist. You got that.
I actually did use a little white crayon before doing the sky.
White crayon?
Yeah,
Oh.
just to play and see what would happen.
Hey, you know what else works is if you have any like birthday candles.
Oh, right, yeah.
Almost everybody has them. You can, maybe get one that's clear or white or even like a pink one. Really doesn't need that much pigment on there. But that's the look. Yeah. Maybe you did use, looking at yours, it looks just like it. Maybe you did use a little wax with this.
My paper is not very good, so I tried to get the just dry brush effect, but didn't work that great. It's quite messy.
Yeah. Your painting does not look messy.
No, it does to me, the bottom part especially.
Well, he gets pretty messy down here. I mean, he does. It's not really articulated. But nice shadows there. You got your horsies. Nice looking horsies too. I'd say that's a good copy.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, are you just the dry brushing mainly, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, I hate to say it, but it's the, what kind of paper are you working on?
Just the,
Arches 140?
it's the Canson.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's
Third color.
See, as you can see, you can get a nice watercolor on the Canson paper, but it won't give you the same thing as the Arches will. And I know the Arches is more expensive, but you'll see the difference.
Yeah, I had the Groom Masher before, but I ran out and I couldn't find it. So Archer is what you recommend?
Yeah, Arches, cold press, 140.
Okay.
Yeah, 140 pounds. That's the standard paper. It might be what he used. He might have used a rough paper too, which will give you that really. You'll see if you get the rough paper, you'll see exactly how it got it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Maria. All right.
Yeah, that's done. Just got the layout.
You like to lay it out in yellow, huh?
Yeah, I do.
Actually, I can't see how that would even hurt anything, really. Yeah, and the way your approach in the back is fine. Yeah, keep doing that. I've seen lots of people lay it out in yellow, especially greens and things like that, because you won't see the color when you're done. But this will be fine, I'm sure.
I love his painting though, I love his work.
Yeah.
Really cool.
This is a nice looking drawing. And your handling right here is, I think, perfect. I just do it all like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it takes you 2 hours just to do that, huh?
Yeah, I am not I'm a plotter. I take long.
Maybe actually, I think we got a little bit of a late start today too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no. Okay, okay. Thank you, Helen. Look, Christine now. There it is. All right. And you got the mountain right through there just fine. I think that's just fine the way you do that tree. So nice looking shadows on the building, very nice. If you pull the tree a little bit, just a little bit lower, see how it's stopping right at the base of the house? I would pull it down just a little bit lower. Okay. And I mean, really, just so it feels like it's in front of it, that's all. Okay. And then the rest just looks like you haven't thrown your colors in there yet. But the way you're doing this is fine. Yeah, I mean, everything looks fine. Nice horsies.
Thanks.
And the way you dry brush the cloud in is exactly right. So this does go a little downhill right here. I forgot if you guys do go down, you know, where the poles are. The rest of them look great.
Okay, he does a little bit.
He does.
Emphasize, I don't know.
He might have, and you know, it really wouldn't matter. As far as a steady goes, I mean, this is going to be a really nice steady. It already is. Your house is perfect. So kind of looks neat the way it is, though. All that empty sitting. That's just me, but I like it.
Yeah, a lot of snow.
Wow. Yeah, that's what it is. Yep, there you go. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. And Cynthia. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Cindy, there you go. Cindy, how many times did you do this? 3 times?
No, this is only the second.
Oh, only the second time. Okay.
I lost the tree in the first one. The tree is hard.
You did a good tree.
Thank
I would
you.
say that is a Victor Higgins type of tree right there. Oh yeah. And he paints them all. He paints this type of tree. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a cottonwood. I don't know. But I see him all over. Painting. He just loves them. Any problems for you? It looks fantastic.
No, it's just really fun.
Yeah.
It's just hard to keep it dark enough. You know, I keep flashing colors on and they fade.
Yeah, I definitely did. I probably got to come back and hit some darks on mine too. You got some nice, I think you got some nice looking darks, especially in the house. The house looks amazing. Mountains look great. Tree looks incredible. I look incredible. My whole class is incredible. Everything. How big is this, by the way? It's big.
Mine or
Yeah.
it? Oh no, mine is tiny.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. I thought it was.
Mine's 10 by 7.
Oh, wow. Well, you know, your technique is in you know. Let's see. Yeah, that is the technique right there. Dragging. Now, are you using the arches?
Yes.
Yeah. So, for those of you that were wondering, she's probably doing the same thing you are, but it's the paper that's giving her this dragging the paper, dragging the paint over to get this sort of dry brush crumbly look. And we'll probably, I don't know if we'll do it this term, but John Marin really popularized this. She was right, John Marin was really highly influential in that. Excellent. Nice work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Yeah. Beautimous. Again, a nice tree. Wow. Look at that tree. You really brought the colors in through the tree. This must be a conglomeration of lots of twigs without hardly any leaves on it. That's the thing he was trying to get across here. You've got anything you're having problems with? I mean, this looks great.
No, I used the wrong kind of paper. You're right. I probably should use the extra rough, but yeah, because it was hard to get. This paper doesn't have much texture. So, but anyway, the colors were fun and.
Is it hot press?
No, but it's not. It doesn't. It's not hot press. It's just a cheap watercolor paper, so it doesn't have much texture to it.
Yeah.
But it's fun just to get the the colors and the shapes. Everything was so moved. There's just a lot of movement on this one, so that was fun. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Suzanne. Teresa. Great looking color, great colors. You really nailed this technique, that dry brush, scumbly look. I know it's whatever, I don't know the word.
I lead out my brush, leave the belly.
The belly of the brush, yes. Well, it works for you. That's good. Great looking colors, great looking values. Nice shadow on the house there.
Well, I forgot the shadows over the windows and the doors.
The shadows over the windows and doors, yeah, I think I did too. Yeah. Yeah, after class sometimes I'll spend a good, usually what I'm doing is I'll do other things and I come back and I just pick over it for a while. Make it the way I want it. Sometimes I do it for a long while, but like last week, I really worked on it for a while. Anyway, this is wonderful. Nice work.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you guys aren't giving me much to critique. Looks good.
Thank you.
You too, Helen. Wow. That's a beauty.
Thank you.
Look at the dry brushing there. Nice. You got the dry brushing. So you are using the arches, right?
Yes. Yes, it's very effective for this technique. It's really help.
Yeah, so just so everybody knows, the paper does have a bit to do with it. I mean, you can be a really hotshot painter, but sometimes it does come down to the supplies. I hate to say it. So yeah, and I tell you what, good brushes, good paint, good paper, well, just makes your life easier. You got the little shadows on the inside of the door.
Yeah. Yeah, I upload later than others.
Oh, okay.
It's that part.
That's nice. I think this is a great copy. I would say, yeah. I mean, it could be that maybe your colors back here are a little colorful for being that far away. I don't know if that's maybe. I'll think about that.
Yeah, I missed that part.
I wouldn't change it on this one though.
Left side, I think I missed.
We'll keep working on that idea of the atmosphere. It depending on who we're talking, but it's great. The shadow on the little horses. This is all great. I think this is fine, yeah. All right, thank you. Nice technique.
Thank you.
You got it. You are welcome. And we're at Gail. And we're at the end here, everybody, so whoever else is turning your work in, please get it in. Thank you. Ooh, Gail. Now, Gail works in sort of a broken technique
anyway.
On your own, so this is probably just natural for you.
Sort of one.
Especially around the horses, you can see that's very much like that kind of scumbly, dry brushy kind of work. I love your mountains. Wow, you're so. I mean, you leave a lot of. I see. Do you see why I call it the broken technique? Because you leave so much white of the paper that it just. Anyway, lots of artists use it. Have used it for a long time. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful technique. Leaving lots of the white of the paper. Fantastic. You even do it more. it's good for everyone to see that too, just to see how everybody's take on it, which way they push it. Any problems you're having with it?
No, it was difficult, but you know, it's fun to just expand your horizons with these different artists.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of a difficult subject and a difficult style, but
There was a lot in the painting.
yeah, it's fun and stylized, which is nice. Okay, take a kiddo. There's Gay. All right, Gay. Look at those colors. Wow. Your tree is just beaming. Look at that tree. By pushing the yellow, it looks, and all that white behind it kind of gives it a gleaming look. I don't know, I kind of like yours though. I mean, I hate to say I like it better than Victor Higgins, but I kind of do. And you know why? What's happening here is the way you're flattening all this out, bringing this around. I mean, he doesn't flatten it out this much until even he gets later on in his career. And you see him really start to flatten things out, kind of like more like you are. You know, all that flattening the perspective.
Now, when I looked at it, the first thing that struck me, I had the feeling of a whirlwind, like everything goes in a circle.
Yeah. It does. Well, it's what he's trying to do here. But you're taking it a little bit further, and I think that's great. I mean, it adds motion. And I really like it.
Thank you.
And I think the way you're interpreting it's fine. I mean, it's kind of like you're, in a way, I like people to copy masters kind of the way you are, in the sense that you're understanding what the master is doing, and then you're taking it and using it in your own style. I mean, you're pushing it a little bit more, you're taking it in your own direction, I should say, a little bit more. And the reason I like that is it just shows you that it shows me that you understand it, and you're using it already in your own work. So maybe it'll add something to it.
Yes, I really like this particular painting, and I like his style. And I was born in New Mexico and lived in Santa Fe, and
how long did you live in Santa Fe?
I lived in Santa Fe probably about 6 years. And
so you were 6 years old, or?
Yeah, till I was 6. And then I got to go back almost every year with my grandmother. We would stay in Santa Fe for a while.
Oh, wow. You really know that place. I've only been there a couple of times.
Well, I've just always been drawn to that particular part of the world.
I really like it there too. It's got a great vibe. Have you seen those Earth ships around? You know what an Earth ship is?
You mean like in Roswell?
Oh no, they're right around. They're outside. They're sort of in between Taos and Santa Fe, but there are these houses that.
Oh yes. No, I know which ones you mean. But you're off the grid, and yeah.
Well, so what are they?
They're called Earth ships.
And they're houses?
And they're totally off the grid. They're made with recycled tires, and they have, a cistern. They collect all their own water, and the object is to not need anything that you can't produce yourself there.
Yeah. And people in those communities, they all help each other. They don't even help each other build their houses. Got a neat Bible in there. Still got a little bit of hippie left.
Oh yeah, a lot of hippie left.
Yeah, all right. All right. Well, that's good. Thank you, Dave. Nice work. Okay, let's go, Henry. All right, Henry. Wow, look at that contrast. Wow. Really
Hi,
powerful
Rob.
contrast with these darks. You're doing the same thing. You're really pushing that circle here too. I'd say this is a winner. I mean,
Thank you, Rob.
yeah.
I love his work. I lived in Colorado Springs for a year, and I traveled to Sedona for numerous times, and also Tucson. So I love Southwest and Indian-inspired American West. What do you call this? The Taos School or whatever, Santa Fe School. Yeah.
Yeah. You lived in Washington and.
Oh, I lived in Washington for 10 years. Yes, that's true.
Wow.
And after that, my first job was in Colorado Springs as a webmaster.
Oh, okay. Anyway, great colors, great values.
Thank you.
And then look at his technique, everyone. So there you go.
I try to get the dry brush scampering.
You got it.
Oh, this is on Arches paper. You can see another picture that's the cropped thing. It's probably the same as this one.
Oh.
The in the same email. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Oh, you did another one too?
No, just the same picture. I cropped it.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, I wish I had more time, but I see a little bit rushing. So but that's good. I captured the essence of it, I hope.
You sure did. Okay.
Thank you. Very wonderful artist and the lesson.
Okay. Let's go. Okay, nice. Look at this. What do you think?
I was just looking at the hellings and I forgot the one shadow of one pole on the right side. I was gonna send another one, but this.
Oh well, it's all over.
Yeah, but this is not the 140 pound, but it's arches, but it's a little different. That somebody gave me.
Oh, is it like a 90 pound or is it 200 pound?
I don't know. I don't know the pound.
Is it thick?
No, thicker, not thick. It's not thicker than 140, but
Oh,
it has
might be
it
90.
has a ring little bit on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be 90 pound. So you get some nice dry brushing on it, yeah. Nice colors. Value-wise, I think you and me are about the same. I probably could have nailed some more of my darks. A little bit darker in places. Maybe a little there. Maybe some of these darks right around here. This is nice right here.
Mm-hmm.
Pop in a couple of darks. You are keeping it nice and dark around your horse there, which is good. I think that's a focal point. Great technique though, you got it.
Yeah, well, I don't see like a real contrast on his painting.
Maybe it isn't that contrast. Now, maybe I can't
Yeah.
see his painting from here. I can just see mine.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm right then, and all of you guys are wrong. No. Yeah, maybe it's not.
I think it's softer, so better not to. That's how I felt. Too much contrast.
Yeah.
And
I like the way you're bringing the background through the tree. It's very nice. Nice. What did you get out of it? Did you learn anything?
yes. I didn't know him and everything. It's amazing how he does.
No. Any suggestions for other painters we should do? I mean, we don't have to only do local people. I just sort of wanted to push it in that direction a little bit more this time. What's Victor Higgins though? He's really an American master. What was that? I'm sorry.
Use a good paper.
Use a good paper. Any suggested masters?
I like Papa Matisse.
Matisse.
Yeah, Matisse.
We can definitely do Matisse.
Dracula.
Who?
Dracula.
How do you spell that?
Croix.
Oh, Delacroix?
Delacroix. Delacroix, yeah.
Oh.
We did that once. Didn't we?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's
Then
do you want to do some more of it like sketchy thing?
Yeah, then I realized he's really good at like sketching and it's modern.
I think actually Delacroix and Matisse have a lot in common in the way they push pattern and things like that in the work. So anyway, those are two great suggestions.
Yeah, I liked last year's with the Matisse and some still life, kind of
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah, that was great.
Still life? Yeah, still life. No, we don't always have to do landscape,
I spent some time on the internet looking for Chinese and Japanese watercolors because I love that aesthetic. I couldn't find any that were interesting.
Well,
Maybe you know of some.
Henry, I know Henry knows a lot of them, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'll find some for you.
I would love to. I did find one. We did copy one or two.
I like that. I just have the wood block.
Japanese artist is not watercolorist. He's oil, but Fujita his work is great.
Now, how do I spell that?
Foujita. Fujita. He's mainly stayed in Paris, so it's not really, but
Fujita.
it's Fujita. Fujita.
So it's Fougita.
Jita.
J-I.
T-A.
T-A.
It's oil, but some of them look like a watercolor.
That's interesting. I think I might know who you're talking about. There's one Japanese painter. Is he in the Impressionist time?
No, I think after that. Yeah.
That's interesting. Broaden out horizon. Anyone know of any good Indian painters, like from India? Anyone you might want to think of? I don't know. It's just a thought, like, I want to get into the East, Let's get deep in there in Africa and stuff like that. I want to get some really interesting things. I wouldn't even mind doing some of these Aboriginal things. They're phenomenal. Have you seen them? Gosh. The colors are amazing. Okay. I just want to go world. I want to do everything. Okay. And that's about it. Oh, is that it? Oh, we didn't do George yet. George.
Do George number 2.
There it is. There we go. Okay, cool. See, there you are with your big, bold statements. Lots of dry brushing. You've got his technique. Anything you learned or didn't learn, or what do you think?
I don't know if I would have tackled this myself if I sold this view. But I learned that I could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Initially, when I looked at it, I just thought it was confusing. I thought that was water in the front.
I think it is. It might be ice reflecting the sky or something. No.
Yeah.
Probably a puddle of water.
And I just thought the tree was so strange looking.
Yeah.
Just so regular at the edges.
Well, I think this style can be a little strange because here you have this realist. He's sort of converting into abstraction, and I think if he lived longer, he probably would have been an abstractionist. Some of his things toward the end are really abstract.
Yeah. Yeah, he died in 49, so.
Yeah, that was right. He would have been considered in the big art world pretty conservative doing this.
Yeah.
You know, compared to like Jackson Pollock or something. Anyway, this is nice. Nice looking copy.
Thanks.
Everything looks good. Good technique. I mean, I know you know all this, so pretty strong colors. I mean, I think he's a little more subdued.
Yeah.
With some of your oranges and reds in the foreground, I think you're doing it right here on the road. He's doing a lot of that.
Yeah, the whole thing is his is much more subdued than mine. Yeah, but I didn't use opera.
All right then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Henry put an artist in the chat, guns from Blue, and I just looked a little bit at that. He's interesting.
Let's take a look.
Yeah,
Guangzong?
yeah, he is the Chinese last name comes first, so usually he's known as Wu Guanzhong. He is the best. He's educated in France and returned to China in 1949 or 50s, early 50s. So he's considered the best fusion style.
You can see the fusion. Wow.
Yeah.
Really. It looks like Jackson Pollock meets the East.
Yeah, exactly. He used a lot of Jackson Pollock dripping.
Absolutely. Oh wow, here he's a couple of these he's almost totally. But then he comes back.
Yeah, he does plein air.
Really interesting.
He's a plein air painter. Yeah.
So he does all of these on the spot.
Mostly, yeah. But he doesn't.
Anybody see anything off the cuff that sort of stands out at you? I mean, some of these look just like a Japanese garden, right? I mean,
Yeah, he does a lot of his hometown, the water villages, like Venetian in China.
Oh wow.
Venice in China, yeah, the Suzhou area, the Jiangnan, southern Chinese water towns, yeah. And then
I would do that.
Yeah, anything you like would be fine with me.
Yeah, would love to. Oh, I like so many of them.
I did my class with the bridge, at Watertown.
His trees are to die for. They're so beautiful. He's so
His auction is the top, among the top maybe 2 or 3. Yeah, he died about 4 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Only. I have to check. Not very long ago.
They're amazing. Look, his panda bears are amazing.
Look at that fish.
His koi fish are amazing. Yeah.
Actually, he died 2010. That's 12 years ago. That's far.
Well, I wouldn't even know where to start. We could have the whole class just copying him.
Would love to.
I know, you've learned a lot. You know who would love him is Hector. All the dripping and stuff. Okay, well, I'll take a look at them. It's a lot of good ideas you guys got here. Okay.
Thank you. See you next class.
Okay. Thank you.
Rob, can you move that little piece of paper? We can take a photo.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Sure. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Bye-bye.
That was good.
Bye, Rob.
Bye.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Rob. Bye bye.
Bye now.
Bye.